Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Shirtless Plantain Show, the Arsenal edition. We're recording this a little bit later than usual, but I'm here with my friend
That's not my
Gabby.
fault. That's his fault. Don't blame that on a black woman.
Yeah. I've explained to you what this weekend has been, and that's what you can pull from your heart. Like, with friends like you need enemies, man. Like, how are you, man?
I'm here. I'm vibing. I told you I've been off Twitter for the last 2 weeks. It feels like
Calm.
I'm rolling along. I'm ready for this season to end.
Yeah.
Although, shout out to the women's team because they won today. Let's get back to another final. All
Yeah,
right.
they were. I mean, it's the London Marathon this weekend, and yeah, while I was out today, I saw so many Arsenal shirts as well, especially coming from like the northeast region of London as well. So I was like, oh yeah, the women's game is on. And I checked the score. I was like, good stuff. So question of the day, Gabby. Last film that you saw?
Um, I actually can't remember the last film that I saw because I just watched one the other way that was on a streamer, but I honestly don't remember what it was. It's just lost out of my mind right now. But I do remember the last movie that I watched in the theater.
Okay.
I went to go watch You, Me, and Tuscany with Halle Bailey.
Oh, okay.
One thing about me, I'm a romance girly. I do love a good rom-com. Go watch that shit.
Yeah.
It's a good vibe.
Yeah, I'm always gonna. I like late '90s, early 2000 rom-coms. That's like my bag there.
Yeah, so peak.
Yeah, and any of the new stuff, I'm not too tapped in. Yeah, last film I watched was Dallas Buyers Club. Yeah, yeah,
That
I
movie is
know.
so dark.
Yeah. It was. It's a very interesting film. And I really enjoyed it. And I won't say
It's a
anything
good
more.
film for sure.
Yeah,
If nobody's ever watched that, go watch it. It's a
yeah,
good
go
film.
watch
I
it.
actually just listened to an interview of Jennifer Garner talking about her time filming that the other day, which is funnily enough.
Oh wow!
She was pregnant when she was filming that, so she was
Oh,
like,
really?
they were on a time crunch getting that movie done. Like,
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. That film really. I wouldn't say altered my brain chemistry. It just when it finished, I was like, oh, okay. I'm definitely not the same person I was 2 hours ago.
yeah, those are the best kind of movies though that like change you. I actually funnily enough, before we get into the pod, someone asked me that the other day. Was like, what's a movie that genuinely changed your brain chemistry? I had to think about it because I was like, as somebody who loves movies, there's so many movies that change my brain chemistry. Like, so
I've
many
got
of
one
them.
actually. I feel like it's a cliche one, but seeing at the age that I saw it as well, it was only ever going to have one outcome, and that was the first Matrix film. Like I think I watched that when I was like 10
Fair.
years old, like 10 or 11 years old. I want to say. So yeah, it changed me. Like it really changed me, to be honest.
That's fair. Mine, if I had to pick one, mine is probably like niche. Like the last movie that changed my brain chemistry was this niche movie. It's a Spanish movie called El Bar.
Okay.
That movie is fucking crazy. Like it is peak like social experiment. Like I finished that movie. I was watching it with a friend, and I finished that movie, and I was like, "What did I just watch?" But not in a bad way. In a like the government could really do this shit to us if they wanted to.
Yeah. Well, they already are. So,
Uh,
all right, let's get into the lineup. And hope you guys would have watched my instant reaction from the Emirates yesterday. And I gave my thoughts on the lineup there. But yeah, we had Raya, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Hincapié, Rice, Zubimendi, Odegaard, Madueke, Havertz, and Eza. So it was pretty much it was the exact same team from last week, outside of White from Mascara. If Timber's not back, I want to see this lineup at home every game between now and the end of the season because it's just more attacking. That's all it is. I don't know how you feel about that, Gabby.
I don't disagree. I worry about Timber because I feel like I haven't heard anything about him. Now, granted, I haven't been on Twitter, so maybe he said something or tried to said something, but I'm like, the only thing I've seen is about Calafiori, and he's still dead because he wasn't even on the bench. So
Was he on the bench? I thought I saw him. I saw him.
he was there, but he wasn't on the bench. Like he wasn't available to play.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, look, I think there's now we're at the point in the season. I'm not going to talk about the injuries because we've had some updates today, and I think we're okay. But I think now at the point in the season, it pays dividends to have a regular lineup. I think we can forget about resting and rotating players now. Now it's all about rhythm and just that extra 5-10% that you're gonna need. You're gonna need to pull that out every game now between now and the end of the season. There's essentially 7 games left. If Arsenal can field an unchanged team between now and the end of the season, I think that puts us in a very, very strong position at the beginning of each game, whatever game we're playing. If we're able to just get bodies on the pitch that are fit between now and the end of the season. So I'm pleased that there was minimal changes between now last week and this week. So yeah, and I think there's also a good, you tell me what you think about this, but I think it's a good opportunity as well for our best and most senior attacking players to continue to build some sort of chemistry, even though we've literally got 7 games of the season left.
I mean, there was a stat, I think, today that I saw that was like, I just honestly, right before this pod, I just logged into Twitter again after being logged out for like 2 weeks, about how we've had, like, Arteta has done like 24 or something like that, different lineups of the front four. Like, there's been no sort of continuity, not from really any fault of his own, but it's just injuries and who's, in my opinion, who's in form. At this point, the continuity is going to have to be in midfield and at the back. Like, at this point, the back four has been playing together for a while. If Timber comes out, then at least you have Ben White coming in, who has played with this team for years. Everywhere else, we're just at the front. I don't know. They're just going to have to figure it out. We just go game by game at this point.
You know, that
everywhere else is locked in.
Yeah, that raises an interesting question, though. Like, for me, at least, when we had the summer window, did you think that at this point of the season, the likes of Gyökeres and Madueke, especially, and even Martinelli, actually, would be playing this many minutes, like starting this many games at this point in the season? I'm talking around from late March to essentially now. Did you envisage that?
Is it terrible if I say yes? I did, actually.
But was that through injury or just because you think Arteta preferred players?
It's different for each player. So for Martinelli specifically, I figured he'd be playing this many games because nobody has locked down that left spot, unfortunately. And I, at the beginning of the season, did not know where we were going to play Eze. A lot of people thought we were going to play him in midfield, and we have, but that's because Odegaard has not been fit. And I was like, well, if he takes that left spot, then those 2 people will be on the bench. We won't see as much as Martinelli or Eze. I mean, or Trossard. So I figured we were going to see Martinelli either way, because that left spot has been a problem child for years at this point.
If we go back to the Liverpool game, I think that was the 3rd game of the season. Eze made his debut and he came on the left hand side. In my mind, even when we signed him, and when we did the podcast with Arseblog as well, me and Dean pressed Andrew and were like, we're certain he's going to play on the left. Like, we're certain of that, and he wasn't opposed to it. Like, he definitely wasn't opposed to it, but he was like, he could definitely see him playing through the middle as well. In my head, I was thinking, if you play him through the middle, he'll play him with Odegaard rather than it being either or. So, and that was sort of conversation that we had. But I suppose, okay, you can have Martinelli, but then Gyökeres, I mean, I personally didn't see him playing this many minutes. Like, I genuinely didn't see it coming, honestly.
You know what's really funny about the Gyökeres? Wait, pause before I go on him. Madueke. That one, I'm not surprised that Madueke has played as much as he has, because Saka has been running to the ground. Like, I'm not surprised that he's been out most of the.
Wasn't that the point though? Wasn't that the point that he could rotate with him, which was happening actually? Funny enough, he could rotate him so that Saka gets to this point of the season, the last 3 months, and he's raring to go. I think that was the idea, and so many people were sure that Madueke would play on the left. Again, very strange thinking. Maybe it's the mass hysteria, mass psychosis that Arsenal fans have for them not to see logic. But in what world would Madueke take up that many left-hand side minutes when we have 3 right-footed left-sided attackers. That's weird anyway. But yeah, you're right. I mean, Saka not being fit, being at optimal fitness, definitely Madueke, he's the next senior player in line. I suppose the reason why I'm asking this question more than anything is that if I could go back to the summer, I would do things pretty much exactly the same. The only thing I may have done differently, genuinely, the only thing I may have done differently is maybe looked for a different option to Gyökeres. I'm not saying that I'm not happy that we signed him for what he's contributed, but the idea was these are our home run players. Saka, Rice, Odegaard are centre backs. Eza comes into that fold now. He's 27 years old, full England international. One of the best players in the country. Havertz as well. I mean, Havertz played against United, and then we didn't see him again until December. So that was the idea there as well. And everybody else should supplement them, should give them, good rotational minutes. And it never happened that way. But the idea and the intention was there, and I can't fault them for that. I really can't. Regardless of what people think about the money that was spent on these players, the players that are ahead of them already at the club, outside of Eza, are fine options. Saka is Saka, obviously. Havertz, we saw last week what sort of player he is. Do you know what I mean? The left-hand side was a big problem, but then you go and sign one of the best left-sided players in Europe, and then everything else goes to shit. So that's unfortunate. But I can't lie to you. I think the idea was fine. It's just football happened, and I feel like we're paying the price of going so hard the last 3 years, and then people just falling apart more than anything. I feel like we could have done something different last summer to help. The summer before last, to help with the players' minutes. But at the same time, I look around the country as well. Who else has, built a deep enough squad that's not cheating? So
the caveat. I do think, you thinking that Gyökeres was not going to play this many minutes. I do think Moreno's injury had a hand in that. I do think Moreno probably would have played a lot more minutes. Or at least shared the minutes with him.
Yeah. I think I totally forgot about Moreno as well. And he's
double M.
Listen, his versatility, gosh, oh man, yeah. All right, so the game started, and at this point, I've been on my seat for a good 15 minutes. At this point, I've been waiting, and then Arsenal serve up Osula with essentially like a one-on-one within the first 15 seconds. I'm like, hang on a second, isn't this a title race? What's going on? What's happening? How were you feeling then? Because I was confused.
Now, what do I always say about us starting games? They start games shit.
What was that?
Literally, it happened like genuinely almost off the kickoff.
It was.
He almost got that. I was going to say he got that shot away, but he didn't actually shoot. He missed. So he whiffed. He almost got that shot away within the first 12 seconds of the game, like literally off of kickoff.
Yeah.
And I was watching the screen and I was like, I know how this game is gonna go.
It generally felt like I was being punked. Like, guys, we spent the whole week licking our wounds. First 12 seconds, are you taking the piss? I was really flabbergasted.
Flabbergasted.
No, seriously. But that was it. That was it. I think that was that. Between that and we'll get to it in a whistle chance, that was essentially Newcastle's lot for the game. They had something in the first 12 seconds, and then they had to literally wait 79 minutes and 48 seconds for their next chance. Proper chance, should I say. But yeah, Arsenal settled. I noticed a couple of things. There was aggression there. We're going to talk about Eza and his goal because it happened, within the first 10 minutes, an early Arsenal goal, which is what I've been craving for a long time. But him playing through the central areas of the pitch, even though he starts on the left, tell me what do you think Arteta's thinking is behind that?
Well, Arteta is very much a numbers guy, so I know he's looking at our progression numbers and like how much we play in this, or I shouldn't say how much, how little we play in the central areas, and if Eze is going to be there, give him the ball. Like, now as a 10 should do, he's going to drift left or right, or try to overlap or do whatever. He's drifting all over the field, but that's normally where he's playing in the central pockets, and that's where he wants the ball.
Yeah.
I think that was the plan, especially because Newcastle kind of give you space. Like they're a transitional team. They leave a lot of space to sprint. And I know they get physical. They try to be on you, but if you beat their press, you're basically running. Exactly. You're basically running into the rocks.
Yeah, relatively easily. I just don't feel as it, well, again, this is more sort of layered, but yeah, I think you make a really good point about Eze wanting to just receive the ball in the dangerous areas. He doesn't. What I love about Eze the most more than anything is that despite him having all this flair and having all the technical ability and intricacies and stuff like that, you can make an argument. He's arguably the most direct player in the league. You really could make that argument. There's no time between him spotting the danger and acting on the danger. If there's one thing
I think there's only one player who's more direct than him, and that's Bruno Fernandes. So.
Maybe, and you're right. Like the moment he senses the weakness, he's like a shark. He goes for it straight away. And what I like about him more than anything is the fact that because of his style of play is very what's I'm looking for? You played Tekken before, Eddie Gordo, like capoeira. It's like he's drifting, and then he strikes, kind of thing. When he gets the ball and it's like he's had the body fade, you've already sold the fade, but he's already thinking about where the ball's going next, whether it's going to be a shot or a pass, kind of thing. And I feel like it's essentially like freezing times, like you're pausing time, and you assess your options, kind of thing. We've missed that so much because we already have the progression, we have the other technical stuff with Odegaard. He can play a pass as well, kind of thing. But having that other person that can do all of those things and they can also kill you as well. I look around Europe and I look around, especially Bayern Munich, at PSG, even like Real Madrid, even though they don't really have that sort of, maybe, actually not, they've got Arda Güler kind of thing. Everybody else has that. Everybody else has that kind of thing. And we have that. We just haven't had it available enough this season. And I think naturally, evolution of football is get your best play, like especially now in 2026, overwhelm teams with as many like technical players, in especially in the areas that teams don't want you to play in. And going back to the chance against City last week, Gabby, anybody else in our squad that gets the ball there, where Eze hits the post, do you think that's a chance? Anybody else? Maybe Saka?
Honestly, that City game, it's in a black hole in my mind.
But you remember when he hit the post, right?
Yeah.
So
it looks like, if anybody has, funnily enough, if anybody who is an American fan who's watching this right now, if you remember that shootout a couple of years ago, Portland Timbers, the penalty shootout, where the guy comes up to hit the penalty and it hits both posts. I know Eze doesn't hit both posts, but that's exactly what it reminded me of. It was so close, and you're just thinking, how did that not go in?
Yeah.
But football is a game of luck.
Yeah. And this is the point I'm making. I look across Europe, kind of thing, and all these teams that have these players, a lot of their goals are like that, where it's like, oh my gosh, that's a great chance. But the only reason it's a great chance is because it fell to Kvaratskhelia, it fell to Musiala, that's the only reason why. If it falls to, no disrespect, I don't know, someone like Garnacho, that's not a chance.
I thought you were gonna say Joker.
No. We're not shitting on Arsenal players. We're not shitting on Arsenal players. Not shitting on the Arsenal manager. None of that. I'm just being real here. But you get what I mean. It falls to Garnacho. It falls to Pedro Neto. It's not a chance. So you don't feel any danger. But the moment it falls to someone like Eze in those areas, you're like,
Liam Delap.
Yeah, Liam Delap. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're thinking, oh great, we've done great here. We've put our most dangerous player, or one of our most dangerous player, in a position where he can affect the game. If it falls to somebody else, you're like, maybe we could have manufactured a bit better. But no, that's the point. And I say all that to say we're gonna get onto the goal now, Gabby. Three times in a row we tried that short corner routine. Mood in the stadium was, what the fuck are Arsenal doing? I want to know what you're feeling.
I couldn't complain with it. I know a lot of people. I saw some accounts from in the stadium about people talking about how like Arsenal fans were, I don't know, booing or like discontent with the short corners. I wasn't discontent with it because I've been asking them to switch up the corner routine for a while now. I felt like we haven't scored a corner in so long, and maybe that's not true, but it feels like
It
a
was
long
Chelsea.
time.
It was Chelsea.
Yeah, I was like, it feels like months we haven't scored a corner. And I was like, maybe you guys need to switch up what you're doing. I don't mind you guys doing some short corner routines and trying to figure it out. And I also, specifically the short corners that we did in this game, in the Newcastle game, you did exactly what I was asking you to do. Not just do a short corner or switch up the routine, but do a short corner that results in a shot from the edge of the area. Now, granted, I prefer Zubamendi in that position, not just Eze, because I think he should be closer to the person who's taking the corner, just in case you want to whip it in from a different angle or whatever. But I was like, Zubamendi knows how to shoot from there.
Yeah.
Leave him at the top of the box. Like,
Yeah.
somebody needs to take a shot from the top of the box. That's the one thing that we have not done enough this season. And I think the goal that Eze scored was like 0.03 like XG or something like that. Yeah, shoot. Yeah. That's like basically all of Morgan Rogers' shots this season.
So here's the thing.
Just shooting.
It's 0.03 XG for mere mortals. That's about a 1.5 XG for someone like Eza. That's his bread and butter. That's genuinely his bread and butter. And the fact that he took a shot on with his left foot, the play before that as well, he knows he can score from there. And this is the point I keep making about putting your best players in the areas where they can affect the game. Like, there's no sort of special formula that everybody else has that Arsenal haven't been doing or can't do kind of thing. They're just getting their really dangerous players, i.e. someone like a Shirky, someone like, again, a Kane, Musiala, Kvaratskhelia, Barcola, Dembele, and, you know what I'm saying, like, in those areas where for them, it's a good chance, and for everybody else, it's not. And this is what Arsenal need to do. We'll go to the market, hopefully we get some better players as well in attacking areas, but this is all it is. There's nothing particularly special about you can watch 100 games between now and the end of the season, and you'll see the same pattern. The special players in these areas are affecting the game, and that's it. And the best teams can manufacture those chances for those players over and over and over and over and over again. That's it. But I love the goal. I knew he was scoring this weekend. I really knew he was scoring, and yeah, from where I was sitting, seeing him strike it and seeing him like the curve of the ball go over and around Pope's reach, yeah, hella satisfying. Did you hear what I said?
Specifically, the one thing that I keep asking Arsenal players to do: hit it one time, put your laces through the fucking ball.
Yeah.
Not every day take an extra touch and then try to shoot. You don't always need to settle yourself.
Yeah,
hit the ball.
I'll tell to mention the fact that this guy is really sick in the head, man. He mentioned the fact that they didn't really want to cross it in because Pope is really good at claiming corners. Had Ramsdale started that game, we're throwing it on his head. And we're throwing it on Ramsdale's head. Like, for sure.
I will not speak. Not use that to speak.
Like, the ball is landing right on Ramsdale's head. I want to watch him flap at it. But yeah, I'm a big fan of us varying our routines.
Set piece routines.
Yeah. And then nothing really happened after that until the injury. But in that lull of the football game, I wasn't particularly panicked. I will talk about panic a bit later on. But was you a bit disappointed? I kind of answered this, but was you kind of a bit disappointed that we didn't really go?
Do you know me or not?
Yeah.
Are we friends or not?
Really pressed for the second goal. And what do you think the reason why is that we didn't? Or couldn't?
I'm not surprised that we didn't press for the second goal. We do this all the time. Home, away, in Europe, in the Premier League. Like, it's just, I don't know what this psychological proverbial wall that we hit every time we score first, but we just take our foot off the gas. Like, it's just like, I think are you a professional or not? Drop a shit without... it's frustrating because when I'm watching them, I'm like, okay, you got the early goal, which I feel like we never get. We got it within I can't even say that within the first 15 minutes. You got it. I think you scored at the ninth minute. The ninth minute we scored, and we came close to scoring before that. Like in the two corner routines we had that before that. One of them, like Odegaard goes to lay it off, I think it was, and it gets deflected. And the second one, as it has the shot, but it goes just wide.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, you guys are pushing early. Then you get the goal that you need. Now go put some pressure on them and get the second goal. I want them to be demoralized because a demoralized Newcastle is just going to try to fight you. They're just going to try to fight you. They won't want to play football. They'll try to fight you, and then all of a sudden you start popping the ball around them. We've seen that before.
Yeah. I mean, they really put the UFC and NUFC, so yeah.
Exactly. and you didn't, and they didn't have their fighters out there either. Like Jolinton wasn't, he didn't play this game, I don't think. I think he's out with
suspended.
Yeah. And Anthony Gordon was out too, I think. So just do what you need to do. And you're playing at home. I feel like Arsenal fans feel like they need something to feel good about. Like they just do. They need something to feel good about, especially if you're playing at home in front of your own crowd.
Mm-hmm.
You get the early goal by a player that people like, because that's another thing. I hate this about Arsenal fans, but sometimes when players they don't like score a goal, it's not as happy, cheery, like, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I won't lie to you. I feel like that's more of an online thing. Like I've seen
maybe
I've seen Arsenal fans lose their absolute shit at El Neni goal. Like it's like seriously, that's
I don't know nobody who hates El Neni, but that's just me. That's just me. All right, he may not be a family man, but that's my guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, okay, go get the second goal. And then after that, literally, I think the stats before halftime were they had more shots than us. Mm-hmm. They had 50-50 possession with us. And it felt less than 50-50 possession when I was watching the game. Mm-hmm. Like after we scored our goal, it felt like they just had the ball always. Yeah. I was like, can we string a few passes together, hold a little bit of control? Like they're not necessarily threatening us, but it's the fact that we are not threatening them either. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Like what is going on?
So this is where I'm glad you mentioned the fact that they weren't doing anything to us, but we weren't doing anything to them either. Arsenal's distances yesterday were definitely all over the place. When a good Arsenal side, like last week against City, despite the result, are super aggressive and they win the ball, like they're always if we're not holding on to the ball, the other team is not going to have it for long. They're just not going to have it for long. We're going to get it back ASAP. That wasn't happening yesterday. I could see it. When we pressed, somebody was always off. Somebody was always off, like less than half a second off. And that makes a world of difference at the elite level. So that was making it easy for Newcastle to always have an exit pass. They have an exit pass, you get a bit more tired, you push back another 5 yards kind of thing. I won't say countless times, but 2 or 3 times in that first half, I'm screaming, close him down, because Tonali or Gomares is carrying the ball forward. And that's a function of us not being able to essentially win it or essentially push them back in the first phase of them building up kind of thing. Then they progress into the second phase, and then now, we're on the edge of our box. Defending the edge of our box really well, but why are they even there in the first place?
Exactly.
So and that's where I was just like, yeah, the automatic off the ball yesterday, like automatic in my head, I'm like, it wasn't good enough. And if Arsenal not good off the ball, which is essentially our USP, then despite us having Odegaard and Eza and Havertz on the pitch, it's not going to mean much. It's not going to mean, because we're not winning it in the areas where these players can hurt them anyway. So it's not going to mean much. So yesterday for me was a really strange game, because I thought of a week of rest and licking your wounds, Arsenal would have been up and at them like we was against City. And I just didn't feel that way in the way that we pressed, at least. I'm not saying with their commitment and what the boys were trying to do, but off the ball, I don't think we were anything special. I'd even argue and say that it was closer to the Bournemouth performance than it was to the City performance. Not saying it was bad as Bournemouth, but it was, if you're comparing the two, it was more similar to that for sure, for me, at least. But again, Newcastle had nothing for us, so it is what it is. And then Havertz goes down, Gabby, talk to me because I've got nothing left. I've got nothing left. I don't.
This is so like I just you know how I feel about Arteta, but like these are one of the moments where I know you can't blame him, but I blame him for this shit. I don't care. Like this shit pissed me off so bad. I was just like, he's been back for like it feels like no time at all, and he's about to be out again. And we're at the business and we've been in the business end of the season, but we're really at the business end of the season. Like it's just you got a player who was like basically never injured in the two teams prior that he played for and has been here for this is his fourth year with us?
Third
Or
year.
is his third year? His
Yeah.
third year. And he's basically missed almost a whole year. And then is probably going to miss basically all of this season now. Like he's played.
It's actually crazy. He actually missed. He missed essentially half of last season, the second half of last season, and then pretty much almost. I want to say almost all of this season. Like
Yeah.
It's been dotted around. He played against United. I think he played around maybe Christmas or January. Then was out again, and then he came back. I can't even remember. I just know that his first start in the league was against City last week. So, yeah, I think it was City. I think that was his first start anyway. Yeah, it's been tough. Seeing him go down, I won't lie to you, like it was. I was in the middle of people watching Arteta basically, and then I look up and see, and then I see Havertz is down, and I'm just like, what the hell is going on here? Like it really, I won't lie to you, it rocked me, and I feel like it did have an effect in the stadium initially. But when Gyökeres came on, everybody was right behind him, and I think he actually fed off that. We'll get onto Gyökeres actually properly later, but yeah, it's tough to take. Now the update is from the legendary Hand of Arsenal. I got sent one of his tweets today, was that apparently it's not that bad.
As bad as they thought it was?
Yeah, it's not that bad.
I will say, I think Havertz going down and then Eze coming off, I know he comes off later, but like Eze did that interview about how he said that like it was just precautionary. I think that's for everyone now. I think you're going to see a lot of people go down and come off because World Cup is around the corner.
Like, do you remember actually? I think it even happened last season. No, it wasn't last season actually. No, it was this. It started happening this season. Do you remember like a few times early in the season, Gabriel went down and he was back the next game. He was literally back, and I was like, yeah. No, like nobody's even trying to be the hard man. No one's even trying to be like, yeah, I'm gonna be a soldier. None of that.
That was not the time for that.
Like, you feel something, you're off. That we literally spent 250 million this summer on players to make sure that you guys can play, basically. So you feel anything and you're off. So I'm glad that the players are not trying to be heroes anymore. So yeah, it's just disheartening because Arsenal's football flows better. It flows better, and we can play in the areas that teams don't want us to play in more consistently. We have Havertz on the pitch. But yeah, I'm hoping that he's back for Atleti. But again, I probably wouldn't start him only because it's away in Europe, and I think Atleti aren't the same team as they were. And I think Gyökeres could probably fill in some gaps that they probably don't want him to run into. So.
Yeah. Funnily enough, I genuinely think he should start that game. Yeah. Even if Kai was fit, I think he should start that game. But I say the same thing about Martinelli. Like I'm not a Martinelli fan necessarily, but I always think that Martinelli should start in the Champions League. Like that's where he's his best, and I think that is for Gyökeres as well. Like I think he looks so much better against a team that gives him space to run. And I know Atleti is more of a like tactically astute like team, but they play in La Liga. They give you space to run.
Like it's so funny. Atleti haven't been that team probably for about 6 or 7 years. It's been such a weird time. Like I feel like he can actually split Simeone's time at Atleti literally distinctly into 2 different halves, and we're literally in the second half of it. And the first half, he was the meanest coach in Europe, stingiest team in Europe. They were so hard to play against, and now. He's essentially I feel like even in his personality, he's become a lot more sort of freer and a lot more sort of, and I feel like it's reflected in the team. So, yeah, like when you have, I don't know, like when you have a player like Gyökeres against that Atleti defense, I think we can hurt them. We already have, you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm taking my chances with Gyökeres. I can't even lie. But yeah, Havertz goes down. Tonali's chance, right? So I thought, well, from where I was sitting anyway, I thought Raya made a meal of it, and then I saw the replay obviously after, and that ball was going everywhere. Like,
Yeah, it swings.
yeah,
It definitely deceives you until you watch it from the head on angle.
yeah,
There's
yeah.
like the camera angle right like behind Tonali when you watch it, and I'm like, Raya goes to move because it looks like it's
Mhm,
going this way until it starts to swerve that way, and so he has to track back.
mhm.
And I was like, you know what?
Yeah, you got
As long as you save it and it didn't go in, I don't even care.
yeah. But that was literally, I think, their only chance. Like, I think that, well, it says, well, only proper chance. It says that by halftime, Newcastle had 9 shots, and the only shot on target was Tonali. I'm struggling, generally struggling to figure out their chances, that they had like any like decent chances. I mean, the Asula one doesn't even really count because he didn't get a shot off. Tonali,
Mm-mm.
obviously, I generally can't think of many. Where I think Newcastle had joy was in midfield. I genuinely think Gomares and Tonali yesterday were excellent. Like I said an initial reaction, but I think they were good. I don't know if you observed what they were on yesterday, but yeah, I was impressed by them.
Um, I I wasn't watching Bruno that much, if I'm being honest. Like,
Mm.
it didn't feel like he had that much effect on the ball, but it he was drifting a lot. Like every time I looked up, he had the ball at his feet. So I was like,
Mm-hmm.
maybe they're just finding him. And I do think I have a frustration. We haven't really got here yet, but I have a frustration with Arsenal and the way that they play with their specific strikers.
Mm-hmm.
They play the opposite of the way I want them to play with Gyökeres and with Havertz, which
Mm-hmm.
we play out of the back with Kai and progress the ball forward that way. And then we go long with Gyökeres, which is what I don't want. I want the opposite. I
Mm-hmm.
want us to play at the back with Gyökeres to ball defeat, and he starts running to stretch the back line, and we go long with Kai because
Mm-hmm.
he's gonna get the ball, and somebody can get the second ball.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, they keep getting that second ball, and I'm like, you guys are getting
Again,
outrun in the midfield. So I was like,
like I said, distances. This it's the distances.
I was like, I
Honestly,
don't know what's happening. We need to
yeah.
swap the style of play, please.
I will say though, towards the end of the first half, so I want to say like the last 10 minutes, Rice realized Bruno was getting too much time on the ball, because what was happening was Tonali was following Odegaard everywhere. He was following him. He was following him literally into the penalty box, right? And on the opposite side, Bruno was getting all the time in the ball, and I think Rice realized that actually no, I'm going to press onto Bruno. So, like, I'm the most athletically gifted player in this midfield battle. So why can't I press onto Bruno? And they didn't get as much joy, but they were still moving it around pretty decently, to my mind at least. And I think that's where Newcastle impressed me the most more than anything in midfield.
Yeah, I think the only person I noticed in midfield who was like consistently like either tackling the ball or intercepting like that was Zubimendi. Like I thought he was good yesterday. Like
Yeah,
he was
yeah,
like he looked like he was getting back into form. Like
yeah,
that's how I felt watching
yeah,
him.
yeah. I mean, let me even see if I can pull up some stats. So he made 5 tackles yesterday, 3 clearances, 2 interceptions, 6 recoveries. He won 6 of his 9 ground duels and 3 of his 4 aerial duels. So yeah. The eye test, the eye test definitely definitely backed up by the stats. And just on Zubamendi, there's this. It's been here for a while, but there's this sort of growing concern. I'm going to call it, but it's not concern. It's just people being weird about him and his form, what sort of player he is. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
what I don't know what people assumed he was, but I've sort of known what he was for a minute. The reason why we played with a double pivot this season and not with one, a lone six is because he's got an all-round game. You usually play with a single pivot most weeks and most teams because that one person specializes in playing in the 6 role. Like they literally specialize there. If you've got midfielders that don't specialize in that one position, what is the point of putting one person there when you can actually affect the game in all 3 phases consistently with both of your midfielders? I don't like the double pivot. I don't. I genuinely don't like double pivot. But when you've got that profile of player, for me, I think it makes perfect sense. Where at some points in the game, yeah, one player will be in a pivot, but they're not going to be stuck there the whole game. It makes perfect sense to me, so it's fine. But you tell me, Gabby, because obviously while you haven't been onto it as much recently, kind of thing, what is it that people expect of Zubimendi? If you like, what is the talk on the streets? Because I wouldn't know.
Honestly, I couldn't tell you. I like Zubimendi's playing exactly how I thought he was going to play. I mean, not bar him losing form a little bit when he was just kind of like rotating the ball and holding on to it a little bit too long, or playing the safe passes. At the beginning of the season, he played exactly how I thought he was going to play, and I didn't watch him that much at Sociedad, so I can't speak to how he played in La Liga for real. But from what people told me, like you and Dean, I was like, he came into the league and hit the ground running. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's scoring goals. He scored more goals than he's ever scored in his career this season. I'm like, he's doing what he's supposed to do. He's passing forward. He's overlapping. I mean, I think one of his best games, like, and granted, this is rose-colored glasses because he scored a goal in this game, but that Aston Villa performance at home, right after we lost that game against Aston Villa, when we played them at home, and he does that overlapping run into the box.
Yep.
Like, yes, that's what I want you to do. Like,
and that's what players that play in a box to box role, playing in a double pivot, should do. They should get forward. But guess what? They should also be counter pressing as well. And guess what? They should also be picking up loose balls. And guess what? They should also be winning like their aerial and ground duels. And guess what? They should also be getting the ball off their centre backs as well. Like, it's not like the midfield role isn't just, get the ball in the half turn, feed it between the lines. Like, if that's what you think of what midfield should be doing.
Speaking of half turn, since you just said that, I actually saw him do a half turn in this game, and I said, that's the Zubimendi I remember. Get the ball, turn your fucking hips, and play the ball forward.
I feel like it was right on the centre circle, wasn't it? Where he let the ball roll across his body, if I remember correctly. I definitely remember that. Actually. But yeah, like, if your idea of Zubimendi kind of thing is get the ball of centre backs on the half turn and feed it between the lines, do that for 90 minutes kind of thing, I'm afraid to say you've got a very, very limited and narrow-minded view of a midfielder, but especially Zubimendi. Like, it's not just that. It's the pretty. I get it looks pretty, it's effective and all that, but trust me, teams hate playing against players where you can't figure out just exactly what they're good at because they pop up in all three phases. It's the worst sort of midfielders to play against. Trust me on that. But yeah, I suppose let's get into half time now. It's Arsenal winning, and I think we're good value personally, but I definitely want a second goal. Yeah. What was you feeling?
It was somber mood for sure. It felt like it was somber mood watching it. I was like, we're going to halftime. I said, just score again, bro. Knowing Arsenal will have some worldy 0.0, you guys like to say, 0.1 chance that goes in, or some mix up at the back that goes in. Just score, bro. Just score another one, and let's put this to bed, because Newcastle don't have 2 or 3 left in them to win this game.
No.
Like, let's be serious.
No.
But that's not what happened. No. That's not what happened. I will say, going into the second half, we did create more chances than I felt we did in the first half.
Oh, yeah.
We definitely created more chances. We have a few transitions that didn't work out. There was, I think in the first half and the second half, some snapshots or we didn't get the shot away fast enough. And I think this is weird to say, but my favorite chance was actually a Zubimendi chance where I forgot who gives him the ball in the box.
It was Madueke that gave him the ball.
Yeah, Madueke gives him the ball in the box, and he's like tries to get like the shot off as fast as possible, but it kind of trickles to the goalkeeper. And I heard, at least for me, like I heard in the stadium, like the collective, like,
yeah.
But I was like, bro, that's what he's supposed to do. Don't hold on to the ball in that position. Shoot as quickly as you can. Get the ball in. You could get deflected into that. Who cares? But you guys need to shoot more. You guys, that's the one of the main things that I consistently criticize this Arteta's attack is that we don't shoot enough. I feel like we do not shoot enough. We do not test goalkeepers enough.
Well, I was gonna say, and I think I said it before. The 2 things that I could say about Arsenal's shooting is, number one, we didn't have enough going into the season, proper ball strike, like people with elite ball striking, and we got 2 in Ezra and Gyökeres, so that problem is solved. The second issue was we wasn't shooting early enough.
Correct.
And we kind of we've half solved it. We half solved it because we've got the players that can do it. But then the players that are already here, I don't feel like are learning from them and doing it more as well. And I know it's an instruction from Arteta for us to shoot earlier. I've literally seen him having a go at players on the sideline because they're taking an extra touch.
It's funny that you say that because I feel that way about every action that we have. I should say every attacking action that we have. I don't think we do anything early enough. Like passing, like an early cross before the player gets there. Just cross the ball to where they're supposed to be at. An early pass, like before they even get to start to run into the channel, go get the ball. You know, like I feel like we always wait to see what's going to develop and then try to make an action. And we particularly do that in the box with shooting. Like we get the ball into the box, and even if there's a little small space that opens up for us to shoot, they over dribble or they take an extra touch it's like
but Wake did it yesterday in the first half. He did it. I think he did it
exactly. He does it yesterday in the first half.
Yeah,
and it's like when you're watching if anybody watches basketball, it's like when you're watching basketball and they do the extra pass. Like I know I kicked it out to the open man, but I'm going to do an extra pass after that to see if you can make the shot. Why? Just shoot the ball.
Just see how it goes, man. Like, and I feel like we scored a couple. You know what? It's so funny actually. The goal that I want to say the opener we scored against United, that came from an early cross from Hincapié, and I think Odegaard took the shot first time, and it deflected off I think it deflected off Lysandro as well. But that whole like bit of danger came from us not waiting for United to settle, basically, and more of those sorts of actions for me. And I feel like even Havertz's goal against Sporting, Martinelli cuts in field and he just puts the ball there. Havertz is really making a run. Havertz's motion is to first time essentially touch and shoot kind of thing. There's not sort of any sort of I'm going to stumble and fake the goalkeeper out. It's just conviction. So yeah, I agree.
Well, the problem is they want every goal to be like Zubamendi's goal against. I think it's our third goal. Zubamendi's goal against Chelsea. They want everybody to be this is the pretty goal we've ever scored. Just shoot the ball. Not everything has to be ticky-tacky dribble around three players and put it into the net. Yeah, they all count the same.
Yeah, but also I feel like there's a change of mentality, but there's also something else we have to consider, which is Arsenal's chance creation has taken a hit this season massively because of injuries and whatever else kind of thing. Just the way I feel like just the way the season's panned out in general. If people like, they can comment nuances as to why they think that is. I've got my own theories on it. But when players get into these positions, I get that they're professionals, but sometimes I feel like they kind of get starstruck. I'm not giving an excuse, by the way. I'm giving you the reason of what I think it is. I think players get starstruck. They're like, oh my gosh, this is so easy. It's like, oh, like I'm ready. Like I've got here. Like, oh, I've got more time than Havertz's chance against City in the final.
You know what that's a perfect example of? Technically that's not for us, but like Asula, his first chance, it happened so quickly that like he fucks it up. Yeah. But that's why I want us to open up and change the system a little bit and open up to allow for more chances, because I think more often than not, players will fuck it up. They will. They just do. Like they're going to miss chances.
And
I mean, it's just.
Do you know the funny thing? The funny thing is about that you mentioned is we saw that on full display against City. It was on full display against City. Like Gabriel was 15 yards behind Ryan Cherki. He's the only free man. Gabriel realizes he's leaving our whole half empty just to go and close him down. If they decide to go long, that's Saliba running one-on-one with Haaland. Now, granted, he's the only defender in the world I'd want doing that. That's still a huge risk. And if you're doing it to, your title challenge kind of thing, I'm not being funny. I'm confident of leaving Osula 1v1 against any of our defenders. I really am. He's a great, don't get me wrong, he's a great player. That goal he scored against United was absolutely crazy. And I feel like he squeezed in between White and Saliba once last night, and he's a good player. But yeah, leave William Sula 1-on-1 with our defenders. I'm fine with that, because if you leave Eze or Saka 1-on-1 with your defenders, I know how that's going. You know what I mean? I really know how that's going. So yeah, it's game on for me. But yeah, the chance you're talking about earlier was, it was Madueke that passed it to him, and that was by far the best thing Madueke did all game. I want to give him some credit here, Gabby, and I don't want you to get upset at this, but I've known this for a while. But Madueke has been carrying an injury for what I want to say at least 2 months. It's very apparent to me, and one of the reasons why I can say this, and I know it's true, is because I was at the game against Forest where I think he completed 8 or 9 take-ons. Like, he beat his man 8 or 9 times. You can't do that if you're not fit and firing. Like, you just can't. And then I look at the Leeds game where he got a goal and an assist, and again he was frying his man. And that Leeds game was about, I want to say, 2 months ago. I want to say he hasn't been right for a minute. He just hasn't been right for a minute. And I get his final product is crap. Let's just call it what it is.
It leaves a lot to be desired, but sure.
It's crap. No, let's call it what it is. It's crap. And I have no issue saying that because I know what type of player he is. But his actual USP it's similar, and I'm going to land it properly with the correct comparison. But let me just start with this one. It's similar to Vinicius in the sense that Vinicius is attritional. Vinicius is a deadly finisher. He's got a deadly final action for sure. But he's like that because he's fit enough to go at you over and over and over and over and over again. Now, the correct player I actually want to compare him to is Jeremy Doku. Jeremy Doku has 2 league goals this season, and he has 8
Sure
league,
does.
he has 8 league goals in 3 seasons. So I'm going to say that again. 8 league goals in 3 seasons, right? But look at how much danger he creates with him just going at his man over and over and over again. He's clearly fit. For me, Madueke isn't, and that's the main difference. Madueke's fit is going to beat his man all day long. Final product, you got to leave that one up to God, but that's but that's his job. That's
above you now.
Yeah, you know what I mean. That's his job, and for me, I can't praise him enough because he's getting out there. I know people talk about his attitude and whatever like that, but like, bro, he's out there every week. Despite carrying, I know there's something wrong with his knee. It's obvious. He's got strapping every game. Do you know what I mean? So I can't be too harsh on him because players are sitting out. Players are literally sitting out because of the World Cup. They actually are. So I can't be harsh on him. He's been called upon. He's not running away. Do you know what I mean? So I've got to give him credit there. But I don't know how you. I know how you feel about him and Martinelli. So I had to get that in before you.
I don't cuss him as much as I cuss Martinelli, but that's because I've seen Martinelli for too long. That's the problem. I said in the summer, if you're going to keep Martinelli, you have to find somebody who's going to be a starter.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't want to see Martinelli as a starter, but whatever. Madueke is like, I think I knew exactly. I didn't want him, but I knew exactly what he was when we were getting him. So it's not like I thought we were getting. It's not like. Unfortunately, like kind of like Gyökeres, where you thought you were getting end product and you're not getting as much as you want. You were never going to get that with Madueke. So, like, fair enough.
Yeah, I just I'm a Madueke truther purely for the fact that I think about that petition every so often, and I get so angry. Like, I'm just like, how embarrassing and entitled can people be? Like, who raised you? Like, where are your parents? If your parents knew you were making petitions about people that don't even know you. Like, yeah, man. Some of these people are even grown men, probably with families as well. Like, you should be embarrassed, man. Seriously.
I mean, right. Men are embarrassing in general.
Yeah, men. Oh, yeah. Especially ones that play for Dallas. So Dallas at the Dallas Mavericks.
Don't even speak because that pissed me off so bad yesterday. I've never felt more parasocial about someone in my life. Like, I literally had a conversation with my friend and I said, "Men deserve nothing."
I'm not joking when I say this, yeah. My missus is reading to me the whole situation. I'm watching TV, but like, she's reading to me the whole situation. And as she's reading to me, she's like, "Musa, are you listening?" I'm like, I turn around, like, and my mouth is open. I'm like, "He did what?" Like, I couldn't actually believe what I was saying. I was like,
you just can't make this type of shit up, bro.
I was like, but she cooked for him and his family.
I tried so hard not to crash out because I was like, I don't know these people, but like, do you understand how crazy it is? Like, I said, if you are cheating on someone who looks like Megan Thee Stallion, has her own money, ain't spending your money, has her own career, is doing up power couple goals with you, is interested in your interests, go on fishing, because I don't even like fishing. I'm sorry, you ain't gonna catch me on a boat for that.
Yeah.
But hey, you still doing up nonsense? There's no hope for the rest of us.
Yeah.
Men deserve nothing.
I was flabbergasted. Like, literally, I was like, there's no way. Like, you don't do. Okay, sidetrack from football, guys. I'm gonna talk to the men here. Yeah, do not introduce someone to your family if you plan to do that rubbish. Basically, don't do that. That's just the bottom line.
You're embarrassing, man.
That's just the bottom line. Like, I'm not gonna go too further into it because people are people, but this is just a general rule. Like, don't introduce it to your family, bro. If that's what your plans are, just don't do that. That's all I'll say. But anyway, back to the football. I want to talk about that red card that should have been a red card. Seriously. We spent about, the guys I was next to, we spent about the next 10 minutes discussing it because we were so angry that it was given as a yellow card. And the only thing that I could say when I saw the replay was that I think Malik Chow was behind Pope.
Yeah.
But that means fuck all to my man, because Jokeris was going to sink that. I think he would have sunk that from that distance.
For sure.
So,
this red card is just, it makes me, I laughed when it happened because it is the fact that Pope has gotten away with not one but two red card offenses. It feels like against Jokeris is crazy.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm going crazy
in the first game.
Not one but two. Like, it's just madness.
Yeah.
It's just madness. Somebody said it today. They were like, maybe it wasn't a red card or whatever, but they were like, the more that I watch it, the more that I believe it's a red card because they like slowed it down, and I hate like slowing things down too much because then you start seeing things not in like live fashion, like. But they slowed it down, and they were like, do you guys not understand that he stopped running? Yeah. Like, his defender stopped running. Jokeris might have got to that ball before him, you know? Like, Jokeris was sprinting.
Yep. Yep.
I feel crazy. And also, if you're 1v1 with the distance with Jokeris and the net is empty, he's probably taking that shot early and getting it to the net. Like, I'm sorry. That is just crazy. You letting your goalkeeper come out that far and not get the ball and intentionally take down the player. Oh, well, there's a covering defender. Brother, there was covering defenders when Miles Lewis-Skelly got that red card against Wolves. I don't want to hear that shit. What are we talking about?
It's the do you know what? I feel like I've come to the acceptance that on a week to week basis the rules are going to change. All I would like is that for that particular weekend, whatever the rules are, they're applied throughout all 10 games across the weekend. It's never going to be the case, but I think we should
never.
Whatever you want to change, put it into a randomizer. One weekend we can decapitate players. Cool. Every single game.
I mean, Jolie got away with that too.
Exactly, but every single game, somebody should be getting decapitated, and there shouldn't be a red card for it. But the next week, you know, you can super kick someone basically in their gut, but no red. But as long as I see it across all 10 games, I'm good. But what's happening is there's zero consistency. There's just zero consistency, even on a macro level. It's ridiculous. Pope gets sent off for that exact same thing next week if it happens. I'm telling you, he does. He does. Do you remember last season actually? Saliba against Evan Nilsson, and then the very next day it was Liverpool against Chelsea, and then Tosin stayed on for the exact same thing. You see what I'm saying?
I'd also think that they somebody said something really insightful, which is crazy on Twitter, but like I saw it today, and they said that I feel like the referees in the Premier League specifically, they make not harsh decisions. Like they underplay decisions that they make, like yellow cards instead of reds, because they have VAR in their pocket for if they're wrong. But the problem with that is that it has to be a clear and obvious error to go to VAR in the first place for them to reverse your decision. So they're always going to go with the wrong decision you made in the first place.
Yep.
Just make the right decision on the field.
Yep.
Like, I just can't understand it. I cannot understand it. It's like, when I watch these things, I'm like, genuinely, did you guys genuinely believe that was the right decision on the field? Because I feel like you don't. I genuinely, I feel like you don't. Because you swap it in another game, there's no consistency.
No, no,
It doesn't
no.
make any sense. You
Do you
guys
know,
just do whatever you want, and
yeah,
it also has to do with depending on what teams are playing. If a team or a player has a certain kind of refereeing standard, you're either more lenient or more strict with them. We saw it with Xhaka.
yeah.
It's just nonsense.
Or, you know, if
The things that Joelinton gets away with, no other team would get away with. Like
Rodri,
it's
Rodri as
crazy.
well. Rodri's
Yeah,
time in
like
England,
it's just
he should have around 15 red cards. Rodri, seriously, his time in England, he should definitely have around 15 red cards. But let's talk about the player that was felled. What did you make of his actual performance? I loved it personally, but
wait. Who were we talking about?
Gyökeres.
Jokeris? Oh, the player that was fouled. Sorry. I didn't really think anything of his performance, if I'm being honest. I know people were like super frustrated with the moment, the peak moment of the game. We could score the dagger, and it's a 4v2, I think it is, and he just doesn't make the pass. And I was like, you know what?
Sorry, it's a 3v1.
Yeah, that too. I listen. Fair enough. Whatever. I think that I'm more lenient with players like him because I don't think he's playing in a system that suits him at all, and two, I just think he's not that he's gained form throughout this season, but I just think that he's so out of form that, like, for someone who's a confidence player, at least I believe he's a confidence player. When you're out of confidence, nothing comes off.
No.
Nothing's come off. Like, it could be the simplest tap in or pass and it will not come off. Football is footy is very good for that. Like, players that can do things that you've watched them do these things. You go a couple games without scoring or a couple games with bad, no shots or bad performances, and all of a sudden you can't do the simple things.
Yeah.
It just is what it is. I mean, I have to see him in the Champions League against Atletico Madrid and see what's what, because I've been saying basically all season we need to change the system, just tweak it a little bit to get him more chances, because I would rather he have more chances to score and then score very few of them than him have almost no chances and then score none of them.
Yeah.
Or like score one of them.
Yeah.
It's just he's a person who gets his confidence from shooting. He doesn't need to have a good performance. He wants to score goals. Like, he just wants that's the only thing he cares about, scoring goals.
I think that's a really,
so him playing in the facilitator
point,
role, it doesn't work for him.
Yeah. I think that's a really good point about him just, forget the performance. If you get Gyökeres 3 to 4 shots a game, that's a good game from Gyökeres, regardless of everything else.
Exactly.
If regardless of everything else, get him 3 to 4 shots a game. Yeah, I think I'm definitely in agreement there. But I'll call it out. You know what I mean? Because I personally think as well, Kusanov should have been sent off last week as well. But it's 2 weeks in a row now where these sort of decisions haven't gone for us. Last week it cost us. This week it didn't, and it just adds to the frustration of how pivotal these things can really be. If Kusanov goes off last week, Arsenal could at this point be sitting 7 points clear of City. So yeah, it's really frustrating, man. Okay, or should I say 7 points clear or 6, whatever. Anyway, we'd be clear of them, should I say? And then Newcastle's best chance. Baltimore obviously comes on. Wissa blasts it over. Yeah. It's always good to I'll tell you something, Gabby. Actually, in a football stadium, when your team concedes a really good chance and the player absolutely balloons it or just misses it, there's rarely better things to do, at football match is to do the collective way when like literally it is so good, like it is so satisfying. And I tell you, I think that was the best one I've had this season, because had Wissa scored, oh god, I don't even want to think about it.
Let's just not and say we did.
Yeah, I just don't even want to think about it. But that was the best. That was literally as good as it got for Newcastle, all jokes aside. But I think probably the biggest talking point really is, forget Saka coming on, MLS played in midfield. in a Premier League game.
He did.
In the running. And I thought for the time that he touched the ball, he was on the pitch. I thought he was okay. What did you make of it?
You know what? When MLS came on, I know this is I'm a sicko a little bit. I know this is weird to say, but all I was thinking about was like, damn, he really hates Norgard. Like, I know he wasn't on the bench for this game, but I was just like, he bought this boy for a Premier League experience and then never play him in the oh, God. This man got bullied into playing MLS in the midfield because I know he didn't want to do that. But lo and behold, we're here.
The thing is, I don't know. So this is what, you mentioned the term parasocial before, yeah? I'll be honest with you. I think there's so much fan fiction around Arteta that has actually seeped into people's minds that they actually start to believe it's become a reality. So there's a couple of things here. Arteta's a dictator, and nobody can talk to him. He makes final decision on everything, but then he yielded on Gyökeres because that was Berta's suggestion. He apparently also yielded on Eza as well because that was Berta's suggestion as well. And then he doesn't like youth players, but then has trusted a little 15-year-old in the running. So it's like, we can't have it both ways. Now, I know obviously you said it as a joke, Gabby, and again, this is not anything for you, but it's just strange to me that these things can become such widely accepted, but they contradict each other so obviously. We wanted to play MLS in midfield, I believe, against Wigan, and then Calafiori got injured. So that kind of scuppered it. And then where has the chance been since to really don't get me wrong, there's been chances, but Norgard's not on the bench. And Zubamendi obviously has been flagging. We've got a game midweek against Atleti, who is a natural central midfielder, who has the qualities to help us in that period of the game, which is number one, he's ball carrying, number one, and the fact that he's fearless enough to take the ball in difficult situations. Better than, unfortunately, don't get me wrong, it's not slighting him, but better than Zubamendi, better than Rice as well in those situations. So it makes, for me, it's the logical sort of my cat just keeps on sniffing my toe. Bro, please. You're such a sicko, honestly. But for me, it's the natural progression. It's a natural sort of decision to come to. But yeah, I'd be really worried if Arteta could be bullied into making decisions. That I wouldn't want him as coach. I would be like, get him out of it. If he's gonna bend to the will of what people are saying, get him out. Just get him out. I do not want that sort of coach at my club, man. Seriously, so.
I mean, I feel like, well, if I'm anything, I'm a Norgard truther. Like, I was just like, you just play him a little bit more. This is somebody who's a captain for the country, who's played in the Premier League, and we've watched. There's actually, funnily enough, I know this only happened because of the game against City, because we lost it. But there was actually, funnily enough, a Norgard comp that went around from the game against City. Not that he played in this game, but like against them for Brentford. And I was like, he played like this against City for Brentford, but he can't play against anybody else in the Prem ever for us. I said, listen. This dictator, he's a sicko, man. I don't know, but MLS has been very up and down confidence-wise this season. And dip in form. So the more that we get to play and rotate, I'm okay with. It sucks that we are at the end of the season and are trying to do that, and it's predicated on injuries. But hey, I always say if you can't carry at least one player in your team, like, and I'm talking about like a young player, like or a new player to the system, a new player to the league. Yeah. If you can't carry at least one player in a position, then maybe your system isn't good enough, or your players isn't good enough, or the tactical, whatever isn't good enough. The tactics aren't good enough because you should be able to carry MLS in some games in midfield.
Yeah,
I do not expect him to play out of his skin as an 18-year-old. I know there's some people who do. I don't expect that.
I think there's definite like credibility in what you're saying there. When we're talking about carrying players one way or the other, I'm always of the opinion that carrying attacking players is way better than carrying players where they'll be required to defend, basically. So, for example, now a 23-year-old, 24-year-old Mesut Ozil should be carried by any team in the planet. You need to find a space for him, 100%. Like you just have to find a space for. No disrespect for him, but all disrespect for him. But if you can find a space for Bruno Fernandes, you can definitely find a space.
That's exactly what I was thinking when you said when you said Ozil. I was like,
yeah,
Bruno's
you
another one.
can find a space for Ozil. Is basically what I'm saying. But for us, our engine room in midfield, while the risk, I'm not against it. I understand why he's apprehensive about doing it. I'd rather us carry Wanyeri than carry MLS. Is basically what I'm saying. Despite me knowing how talented MLS is, I'd rather us carry Wanyeri. Basically, is what I'm saying. But yeah, absolutely, MLS should have played more minutes so far this season for sure. Whatever the reason is, I don't know. There's also a thing of people probably don't consider this as well. With young players that break out, unless you're in the 0.000000001% of young players that break out and just have a really, really solid.
He's specifically talking about Lamine Yamal, guys.
Yeah. Well, even then, like they've shagged this boy senseless as well. Like he might miss the World Cup. So.
God bless him.
So again, do you know what I'm saying? But unless you're one of those players that Wayne Rooney, Wayne Rooney is a perfect example. Wayne Rooney, from the age of like 16, didn't really have any sort of downtime in terms of his form because he was so talented, so physically dominant, all that sort of thing. Most players will go through a growth spurt that will affect their form. It will happen. I've watched MLS literally grow. I've seen, and this is not to sound creepy, but I've seen Max Dowman. Seriously,
that's so creepy.
I'm sorry, guys, but I've seen Max Dowman literally grow. Like the open training session we had.
I know what you are.
Yeah, it is, man. That the open training session we had last season with Max Dowman, and open training session we had this season again. I'm like, this boy has grown like maybe a foot in that period. It's just so these sorts of things will affect how a player can perform as well. And if a coach recognizes that, which they should, putting him in a firing line is no good for anybody. It's really no good for anybody. I'm not saying that he shouldn't have played. I'm saying the opposite of that. But what I'm saying, the reasons could be something like Kai Havertz had his growth spurt at 22 years old.
Which is ridiculous.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's you got to consider these things. But yeah, MLS, absolutely, man. I need more minutes from him. And we should definitely find space for him. But let's consider all of the possibilities as the reason why he might not be playing as well. We've gone over quite a bit. We'll get to the elephant in the room. The Gyökeres pass. It's really simple. He should be making it. The build up to it, the 2 touches, absolutely perfect, fantastic. He looks like a footballer, and then the pass happened, and I ain't got nothing else to say on that. I'm just gonna leave it there, Gabby. I don't know.
Like I said, what is there to say, bro? Like he absolutely should be making it. But to be honest, now granted, I'm a little bit more of a like realist or towards negative.
Yeah.
I can see a lot of players in our team messing up that pass. I've seen Martinelli mess up that pass.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Seen Saka mess up that pass. It just is what it is. I don't know. I think Gyökeres right now has been playing at a level in which we are all frustrated with. Mm-hmm. So it's like it's a pile on. Like he's just not for the level. I know a lot of people who want to let him go this summer. I would not be opposed to it. If you straight swap with someone else, hey.
I mean, I'll take a while to originally. So why not just? Well, actually, I don't know. The thing is, look, I'm a bit of a softie in it. Like the moment you put on an Arsenal badge, like there's an attachment grows straight away. Like, and I know you were applauding the fish for swimming, but Gyökeres' effort, I just can't overlook it. The man really tries. And again, maybe it's because I don't know. I quite literally watch him every week. I can see him grimacing on his face. I can see how hard, like what the cameras won't show. Like the guy is going nuts. Like he's lost weight as well. At the beginning of the season, Gabby, I remember I was calling him fat.
All right, Pep Guardiola, not too much body shape.
But he's actually lost weight. Like so for me, letting him go after a season might be the right decision. I would just feel really bad about it, basically, is what I'm saying. But yeah,
if I'm being honest, I'm not attached to any player too much at this point. I need us to win things now. I'm more of a Arsenal as the badge rather than who the coach is, who the players are at this point. But I just feel like I don't want to say this is a match made in hell because I don't think it's that. But like I just feel like this is not the league for you. I fully stand. I will die on this hill that not every player should be in the Premier League, and that does not mean you're shit. I know there's some prem truthers out there who think this is the best league in the world, and if you don't make it here, you're not good anywhere. That's not true. I think he could go to another top 5 league and be fine. But he's in the wrong system, the wrong coach, he's just wrong for Arsenal. He's just wrong. And I personally don't think he'll get any better than this.
I'll be
which is
honest with you.
kind of frustrating.
I'll be honest with you. I'm gonna say the opposite of that, and it's not because for any one particular reason. I think his actual genuine. He's gonna be next season. He'll be playing as a 28-year-old basically, yeah. And really, between 28 to 30 as a striker, especially the sort of striker that he is, with a year of the Prem under his belt, and Sweden will be probably going out in the groups of the World Cup kind of thing. He'll get a full.
Damn, you ain't give them no.
Nah, they're shit, man. Sorry, Graham Potter. Yeah, do me a favor, man, please. But a full preseason behind him. I'll be honest with you. I think I back him to actually be better. I think I do, just because of.
That's because you're a softie.
I'm a softie, but also, I'm looking at it from the perspective of, well, you can't get any worse. If he's going to finish this season with 20 plus goals, right, in all competitions. Really, we've been onto this guy, but if he finishes with 20 plus goals, like playing like this, if he gets any worse, then yeah, that for me would just be unacceptable. I can't really see him getting any worse. Like if he gets any worse, then
I think that's the problem, though. Even if he doesn't get worse, that should not be the line. That should not be the bar.
Of course. And I think, but I genuinely do think put it like this: another year of playing with Ezra, Odegaard's here. Maybe he's not. I don't know. Would I like him to stay? I think I would. But again, we get some more attacking and creative talent as well. The burden is not as much on him because we actually have fit players to actually. He could do better, but again, if someone turned around to me and said, "Oh, we can guarantee that we'll swap you. It doesn't matter who the plays. We'll swap Gyökeres for him, and he will get 20 league goals next season." I'm throwing him out the door with all these IKEA shit. Like he's gone. You know what I'm saying? But that's not how football works. So but that's it for me from here. Gabby, we have done an hour and 17 minutes. You guys better.
That's because you're a yapper.
I've asked you all the questions today, Gabby. I've asked you all the questions, but people love this. People love this. So, but yeah, we've gone on a bit longer than usual. Like, share, subscribe, or I will literally set Gabby on you. She beats people, especially men. But yeah, Gabby.
Clay Thompson, I'm on your ass.
You wasn't going to say his name.
Don't go outside. You're a fucking disgrace.
I've been Coach. Gabby, not tell the people.
Peace.